Nagabenta ki khubor baman kasni pet but subscribe ya u Antor News. Kublay phi baro kini gilongi khubor bam ta kasni. U Menteri Tnad Social Welfare uba polling do la ai jingero ya ka Bethany Society la umkra namar ki kam sinyang ya ki khun ki badan jingduna ha ki department. Uba pol habayero ya ka Bethany Society but iki kam jongka ha ga yo ya di thiet iki mar ki mata balashna bat pinmi daki khana school Bethany. Kayo yadi thiet jang Bethany Society Shillong ringkat ka jing trailang bar ka Enable India ki pelong ya kayo hat jing kersiu ha Bethany Society compound light umkra ha ka arp south rik uyayong hajar arpsan ka purple event hat jing kersiu jagruthi mela sanspa angut ki briu ki badan jing duna ha ki department PWDS ringkat bar ki bahaying hasem ke shimbenta kahat jeng kersiu kadi ka rinsan ka bakarpang ka bapenya so langi kinong shimbenta bapher ki bayadei ba kamaryang jong ki baduna department ka jingyalang ka thumu ban ai ki jingtip ki bakongsan halor ka jingpuli ka jingtibit ki scheme sarkar ki program ai jinghikai berkilat kamai na ka benta ki PWD ka CD Lingwa MCS Director of Social Welfare Kaladon lang bansaki barka kong Bertha G. Dekhar Executive Director kalong kanong penyat yakate ke jingelang. Ka kentup yaki sel beyadei beki jingpen i ki bapenet jingmut ha ke jingerap ka bakloi ka bakentup lang ka jinghikai ka jingbha jingmiat ha ka imlang saalang ka jingsumari ka kot ka kya kilat jingpen bed bayarap ki hok berki jingbit kat kumkaan ka jingtrei shimet ka jingtrei basiu Bible la ki khana jong ki nong job carve se bazar kayo kabarakhi ka jing sengkam sengjam daki PWD kadkum ka khana sumari jong usnem arhajar khatwei ka jila meghalaya ka don hado south hajar laispa khat nyongut ki briu ki badan jingduna hagi department ka don ka jingdon kam ka banang roi bar ka bakirki ek rinsan ka blapnya solang kum kani banyarap yaki PWD bad ki bahaying jong ki banyo yaki jing shakri bad kilat kilenti ki bapura ki bakila banyo.
I got the welcome that was truly typical and very appropriate because when I reached here, the young kids were singing, "Nothing's gonna stop us now." I think that is our motto as a department, it is our motto as Bethany Society, it is our motto as persons who are actively engaging ourselves in removing this entire misconception about a society having victors and victims. We all are victors. Some of us have reached the stage of victory. Some of us are in the process of transitioning towards victory. So we are victors. And it is, I really am thankful, grateful to Kong Bertha because at the very outset of her speech, she made a mention that Meghalaya is doing so well where our social welfare indices are concerned. Generally, people always speak against the system, against the government. In fact, we are blamed for everything that goes wrong, even for foul weather, the government is blamed. But here is one lady who stood up and said, "No, you guys are doing fine, but then the biggest room in this world is the room for self-improvement." One of the earliest mountaineers who scaled Mount Everest, after a couple of months or so, felt a kind of sadness, a kind of loneliness, a kind of pain inside of him. And he narrated this to a friend. He said, "I have scaled Mount Everest. Now, is there anything higher than that? Any other mountain for me to climb?" Therefore, I go back to that statement that we all are evolving as human beings. And the moment we say that we have achieved everything, we have completed our mission on earth, then the rest of our time here is just a waste of space, a waste of time, and a waste of energy. So I'm thankful that under with Enable India joining, teaming up with them, I'm happy to have listened to Cornelius when he spoke about his sunglasses, the glasses that he wear, and how he entered a store. While he was narrating that, I only could visualize Stevie Wonder. I thought here's one with similar talent in a different field. So our activities as a department have been geared up to ensure that we reach out, and there is no cause for us to complain. As Kong Doreen has said, we are on a mission mode. I recall a young police constable who knew me personally. When he was transferred to Sora, he immediately rushed to me and said, "Please help me. I need your favor." I said, "What kind of favor do you need?" "I have been transferred to Sora and I'd like to stay back in Shillong." I told him, "Have you heard of the Welsh missionaries who came from Wales all the way in 1841, landed at Sora, where they didn't know the local language, didn't know the local people, didn't know the kind of weather conditions, climatic conditions, and yet they stayed on till they give us our script. If they could travel from Wales to Sora, what is your problem in being posted at Sora, 52 kilometers away from Shillong? What kind of mission are you on?" Therefore, I'd like to say this before winding up. It's very important for each of us to realize that we are gifted. Do not think that you are disadvantaged because you are disabled. In fact, I have said this, I'd like to repeat what I've said in one of my earlier speeches, where I said, who do you call disabled? There are lots of us with very clear eyesight, yet we have no vision. There are many of us who can hear, yet we do not listen. There are many of us who can speak, yet we do not bless. There are many of us who have feet, but do not move forward. Who is disabled then? I leave that question to you as food for thought.
Social Welfare Department. So when I stand here today, Bethany Society, by the grace of God, when we sat for the approval, you have put the request for 50 lakhs plus, but you're entitled for 76 lakhs plus. And so with that, it is due here. So I said, you must come. And she said, "Ma'am, 10 years I've been working, routing all these files for Mary Rice, Handicap, Bethany, so on and so forth. This is the first time I'm going to step in." I needed them to come because they walk round the clock. They should know. Sometimes we are a society that have not taught gratitude. So we don't know how to say, thank you. But me and my children, we are on a path now to say thank you. So because of this also, I've gone to Archbishop to say I'm a product of Catholic missions. Thank you, because I come from a school where God is number one, Jesus is placed first. Then we are taught in that school to love the country and the state. That is why from my school I am a very passionate nationalist. Like, I love India. I'm a very proud Khasi, because our school, because of Catholic missions again, we were privileged to be under a few Irish nuns that will be around decades ago when I was in school. So we still had those, who were there, and they made us to love Khasi land and the place where you hail from. And that is why when I stand here today, it is a miracle to be in the midst of our very own Honorable Paul Lingdor, former, students youth leader who made us really love the land. And if you've ever read San Ringeo, the documentary of the journey so far, and yesterday we were with my few officers, he said, true, ma'am, there was a time when we felt small and we felt scared in our own land, and that will be just 3 decades ago. But today, when we have our very own lead in the front, there's a sense of security and feeling safe and being able to open our mouth to vocalize, to be bold, to be courageous. It is my pleasure to have none other than the director of NEGRIMS, C. Daniel.